Good morning, degenerates, and welcome to another episode of Boring Crypto IO, a place where I read you the boring crypto news every morning, Monday through Friday, just so you don't have to. My name is Not Important, and I'm your host, LFG. ARB poses new government proposal after community furor. Furor? Ferrari. This is what I was kind of talking about the other day, guys. I think it was yesterday or the day before, where Arbitrum had a pullback because of some government's issues. I don't remember the exact story, don't quote me on it, but they had some issues within their community that caused people to get a little bit sketch about it. Next, Singapore to introduce uniform screening standards for crypto bank accounts. And last but not least, 3 congressmen introduce gold standard bill to stabilize the dollar's value. Not a bad idea, but where's the gold going to come from to cover all the dollars that are in the market? All right, speaking of the market, we are now sitting at 1.176 trillion. Bitcoin dominance has pulled back to 45.8%. ETH dominance has gone up a little bit to 19.1. Excuse me. And 25 Gwei will get you an ETH transaction. That being said, we have got a pullback as of last evening, and the market's looking red right now because of it. Let's see, anything crazy? 4% on XRP on the 24-hour, 5%, almost 5% for Cardano. Doge at a whopping 10, almost 10%, 9.1 now. Pullback. Still up 18.68 on the week. Anything else significant? Any other big pullbacks? 3, 4s, 2s. 3. Leader Dow, 6.4% pullback. Yeah, guys, red day so far. And ARB, 6.29, down 12.68% on the week. ICP, down 4.3. Stacks, down 14.85 on the week, guys. All right, let's go ahead and roll right into Bitcoin. So this is the pattern we've been looking at. This is our massive, and if you're new here, we'll just get into it that way. This is our massive, giant purple range of resistance that has been resistance for quite some time, and it is strong, y'all. Every time we touch it, we get like bad rejections from it, like boom, boom, boom. It doesn't like this at all. So we were setting up this potential triangle pattern. I could potentially maybe adjust this. I don't like the way it's looking though at this point. Let me see. Maybe. Either way, if we go back to what I was looking at, it looks like it's breaking out of this pattern. The original setup I had was kind of like this, based on these wicks right here, those candles. Here it looks like we were breaking out of the pattern to the downside. Question is, if this is true and this pattern is breaking to the downside, how far are we going to go? My first level of support is going to be that 27.593. Let's call it 27.6. Just like we touched here, touched here, touched here. Support, 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 support. And we bounced off of it. Another support level is going to be that 27.98. We'll call it 27.8. Or 27, I gotta get the words out. Sorry, 28 flat, which has been what we've been bouncing in and out for quite some time. Nothing new, guys. Just levels to watch, depending on what's gonna go, where Bitcoin's gonna go. Look, this is not looking like it's gonna break anytime in the near, like soon, like a week or two, in my opinion. This 29,000 basically, and hoping it rips up to 30 grand. I don't see it happening. I could be wrong. I mean, I always like to see Bitcoin just go up and to the right forever. But the longer we stay below this, I'm not feeling very confident in this level. We could potentially see a drop down, especially going into the weekend. You guys know how it goes. Weekends are crazy and volatile. That 27.3 level is strong support, especially for wicks. If we do break below that, I'm looking for this 25.8. People are calling for 25.2, possibly like a scan wick down to 25.2, and then we're off to the races again. I'm at the point where because I don't swing trade. I'm just building bags right now. I'm at the point where I'm just like, let's just get it over with. Let's rip the band-aid off. Let's dip, and let's just keep going forward. Let me know what you guys think. Comments down below. But I think we just keep getting teased, and if we're just gonna keep ranging in here, it's gonna get real boring real fast. But I say, let's pull back. Let's correct. Let's get this wick down, and then keep going up. Ethereum again. Yesterday we were looking at this potential mini bull flag on the 30-minute. So let's go to the 30-minute. So, had to break out of our big pattern. We reached our target, and then went bull flag, broke out, bull flag again. Now here's where it gets really interesting. When I drew this for you guys yesterday, I'm just gonna expand it just so you can see a little bit better. I was saying that we were setting for a potential another bull flag, and even though we rolled over for sure, obviously, we broke out, we retested, and then shot straight up to damn near the top of this measured move on this flag, and then we retraced, broke back through the pattern. It was like support, and then see you later, bye. Broke through, started trying to kind of recover, and just rolled over. So that's not looking good. We are finding support right now. On the 30-minute, we're finding support at around 1860. We will see if it holds. And if you're looking at this, that 1860 is right around where this last little cluster over here was finding support before it took off again. So let's look at this on a 1 hour, see how it looks, see if it looks any different. If I can see any potential patterns forming. Yeah, it just looks like a rollover. But again, bouncing off that line. With that being said, I don't necessarily see this as bearish. If we flip this roughly around this 1860 level, if we flip this into support and then continue moving upward, that's healthy. Let's see what it looks. Let's just keep changing time frames. See what we're looking at. So yeah, right here on the 4, support, and then boom, impulse wave, come back down and bounce right off of support. That's not bad, guys. That's actually decently healthy. That's a nice little retrace from the big run up we had over the last 2 days. 1, 2, 3, and then if it holds, we keep going. Again, just something to look at. These are levels I am looking at. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm even a terrible trader, so don't pay attention to me per usual. With that being said, let's get you guys onto the news and get you out of here. Arbitrum poses new government proposals after community furor. Frammy. Samsonite. The Arbitrum Foundation has made a couple of new governance proposals following the fracas, the words they choose sometimes, that occurred over its first attempt. The Arbitrum Foundation has released a raft of new improvement proposals following the fracas that ensued after its first failed attempt at governance. On April 5th, Ethereum Layer 2 solution provider Arbitrum posted a new Arbitrum improvement proposal, AIP, for the governance of the network. The new proposal included AIP 1.1, which covers a smart contract lockup schedule, spending, budget, and transparency. The other AIP 1.2 tackles amendments to current founding documents and lowers the proposal threshold from 5 million Arbitrum tokens to 1 million ARB to make the government more accessible. In April 5th tweet, it confirmed the Arbitrum DAO came to a consensus against its first proposal. This is what I was talking about. On April 2nd, the Arbitrum Foundation stated AIP1 likely will not pass due to community backlash. Token holders objected to the proposal, arguing that it encompassed too many topics and decreed granting around $1 billion worth of ARB tokens to the foundation. The foundation backtracked, stating in an April 5th tweet that it would not take control of tokens. The foundation will not move any of the remaining 700 million tokens to the administrative budget wallet until an acceptable budget and smart contract lockup schedule have been approved by the DAO. The foundation also issued a transparency report that describes actions taken to get the DAO up and running. We have heard the feedback. It stated before adding that it has worked diligently to address it and make sure that foundations can represent and serve the DAO's best interest with their support. The 2 new AIPs were posted in Arbitrum's community forum and will be available for feedback for at least 72 hours before the planned week-long snapshot vote. ARB prices have dropped 4% over the last 24 hours, falling to $1.22. The Layer 2 token was dumped heavily following its airdrop, of course, on March 23rd, and is down 86% from its peak price of $8.50 on that day. Let me know what you guys think about this. Comments down below. Are you holding Arbitrum? God. Are you holding Arbitrum? Did you get any from the airdrop? Did you sell? What are your price predictions? Etc. etc. Again, comments down below. Moving on. Singapore to introduce uniform screening standards for crypto bank accounts. Potential guidelines reportedly won't have a binding force over banks, which can rely on their own risk assessment. Singapore regulators are working with traditional banks to develop uniform standards for screening potential customers from the crypto industry. The collaboration has been ongoing for the last 6 months. According to a Bloomberg report from April 6th, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, has been working alongside the police forces to help local banks optimize their procedures for opening accounts of digital asset service providers. After half a year of cooperation, its results and conclusions from risk management to due diligence will be published in the next 2 months. Sorry, y'all, I'm dealing with some really bad allergies. This is not my time of the year at all. The potential guidelines will also cover the topics of stablecoins, non-fungible tokens, and transferable gaming and streaming credits. At the time, the banks will reserve the right to make decisions based on guidelines and their own risk assessment. As MAS representatives told journalists, currently there are no rules prohibiting the banks from working with digital asset providers. Banks make their own determination of whether to start or continue a banking relationship with a customer, balancing between commercial considerations and business risk tolerance. Singapore has established itself as a hub for crypto businesses, owing to its flexible tax policies, excessive diverse tech talent, and convenient location, allowing companies to operate smoothly within the region in Asia time zones. However, in late 2022, the MAS proposed banning digital payment token service providers from offering any credit facility to customers, including both fiat and cryptocurrencies. Back then, local crypto lobbyists voiced their opinion to the proposal. Currently, the local enforcers are conducting a probe connected to failed Terraforma Labs and its co-founder Do Kwon. The collapse of the Terra ecosystem caused a major implosion in the digital asset market, with losses of nearly $40 billion. All right, well, kind of felt like a nothing burger. Sorry. Guys, last but not least, I'm going to read this, get you guys on your way. This is kind of a small article. I don't think this will happen. Do I think it would be a bad idea? I mean, if we could turn back the clock, no. But I don't know how they would pull this off. With so many devalued dollars in the system, I'm assuming, like, what would you go find the gold to back it? Or would you burn, like, do you devalue the money to meet the amount of gold that you have? Like, I don't understand how this would work. I'm not smart enough. What can I say? Anyway, 3 congressmen introduced a gold standard bill to stabilize the dollar's value. Washington, D.C. Access Wire, April 4th, 2023. As America faces the twin threats of inflation and bank failures, welcome to the shit show we are in. Just three. U.S. congressmen introduced a pivotal sound money bill that would enable the Federal Reserve note, the dollar, to regain stable footing for the first time in more than half a century. I don't know if that's representative or Republican, but Rep. Alex Mooney, joined by Reps. Andy Briggs, I guess these are representatives, and then they are Republicans as well. Andy Briggs, Paul Gosar introduced H.R. 2435, the Gold Standard Resolution Act, to facilitate the repegging of the volatile Federal Reserve note to a fixed weight of gold bullion. Upon passage of the H.R. 2435, the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve are given 24 months to publicly disclose all gold holdings. I don't think they'll ever do that. That would really terrify people because they probably don't have shit compared to the amount of money that's out there. All gold holdings and gold transactions, after which the time the Federal Reserve note dollar would be formally repegged to a fixed weight of gold at its then market price. Federal Reserve notes would become fully redeemable for the exchangeable with gold at the new price, with the Treasury and its gold reserves backstopping Federal Reserve banks as guarantor. Monetary experts have noted that a return to the gold standard would substantially curtail the economic damage caused by inflation, runaway federal debt, and monetary system instability. A gold standard would protect us against Washington's irresponsible spending habits. Bingo, right there. And the creation of money out of thin air, said Representative Mooney in a statement. Prices would be shaped by economics rather than instincts of bureaucrats. No longer would American families, businesses, and the economy as a whole be at the mercy of the Federal Reserve and reckless Washington spenders. Oh God, I don't. Okay, thank you. Let's hope. Woo, it's a long one. All right. I was hoping that if I clicked on that, it wasn't gonna force me to like pay for something. Where was I? Right. All right. The Gold Standard Restoration Act also makes several findings as to the harm the Federal Reserve System has inflicted on everyday Americans, particularly since President Richard Nixon temporarily. It's interesting too. I didn't know it was a quote-unquote temporary suspension, and they're quoting that. I'd have to do some research to see if that's what they actually said. Anyways, back in the 1970s, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard, and we've been a fiat currency ever since. And every fiat currency in the history of the world has always eventually collapsed. Just some food for thought. Anyways, particularly since President Richard Nixon, quote-unquote, temporarily suspended gold backing of America's monetary system in 1971. H.R. 2435 points out the Federal Reserve note has lost more than 40% of its purchasing power since 2000 and 97% of its purchasing power since the passage of the Federal Reserve Act in 1913. Historians have observed that the elimination of gold redeemability from the monetary system freed central bankers and federal government officials from accountability when they expand the money supply. Fund government deficits through trillion-dollar bond purchases, exactly, or otherwise manipulate the economy. At times, including 2021 and 2022, the Federal Reserve actions helped create inflation rates of 8% or higher, increasing the cost of living for many Americans to untenable? Is that supposed to be unattainable? Untenable levels, enriching the owners of financial assets while endangering the jobs, wages, and savings of blue-collar workers. H.R. 2435 states, notably, Representative Mooney's bill would also require full disclosure of all central bank and U.S. government gold holdings and gold-related financial transactions over the last 6 decades, a seemingly taboo subject surrounded by mystery and deception. To enable the markets and market participants to arrive at the fixed Federal Reserve note dollar-gold parity in an orderly fashion, the Secretary and Federal Reserve shall each make publicly available all holdings of gold with a report of any purchases, sales, swaps, leases, and any other financial transactions involving gold since temporary suspension in August 15th of 1971. The gold redeemability obligations under the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944. In the years leading up to Nixon's panicked, quote-unquote, temporary suspension of gold redeemability, abusive U.S. deficit spending and currency debasement had prompted many foreign central banks to turn in their Federal Reserve notes for gold. However, this disgorgement of America's gold holdings was largely conducted in secret. That's why H.R. 2435 also requires the Fed and Treasury to disclose all records pertaining to redemption and transfers of United States gold in the 10 years preceding the temporary suspension in August 15, 1971 of gold redeemability obligations. U.S. sound money groups and industry leaders are cheering Mooney's actions. Government cannot continue to spend and print on a massive scale without preceding existential threats to the currency and our economy, said Lawrence W. Reed, President Emeritus of the Foundation of Economic Education. The gold standard never failed America. Bad ideas and bad politicians did. If we do nothing, disaster awaits us just as it downturned earlier civilization that spent and inflated their way to ruin, which has happened over and over and over throughout history. Today's debt-based fiat money system serves primarily to support big government and wealthy financial insiders, while the Federal Reserve's serial policy of currency debasement punishes savers and wage earners. Absolutely. Explains Stephen Gleason, president of Sound Money Defense League and Money Metals Exchange. A return to gold redeemability would arrest the problem of inflation, restrain the growth of wasteful, inefficient government, and kick off an exciting new era of American prosperity, Gleason concluded. Full text of Representative Mooney's gold standard bill can be found here. There's a link. This is a Yahoo Finance. If you type in back to gold standards, I'm sure you can find the article. It was introduced on March 30th of 2023. It's now the 6th, and we're just hearing about it. And referred to the House Committee on Financial Services. Here are my thoughts on this. Do I think it'd be a good idea? Absolutely. Do I like the idea that they're playing Captain Save America? I think that's commendable. Do I think this will pass? Absolutely fucking not. Specifically alone because of the wording and segments in there that are requiring the government and its holdings and spending and transfers and swapping of gold to be transparent. They absolutely do not want to fucking do that. Absolutely not. Nor will they. I think, again, with also, I how do you pull this off? I don't get it. I would need someone to sit down and explain it to me. I'm not that smart. Sorry, guys. But I don't think that this will ever pass. This is dead in its tracks, in my opinion, because there's a lot of shady people up that ladder that don't want this shit to stop and don't want to get caught for all the stuff they did. Let me know what you guys think. Comments down below. With that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. Let's look at Bitcoin one last time before we get out of here. Doji candle. How much time we got left on that? 33 minutes. On the 4 hour. Let's see where this next 4 hour candle closes in the next half hour. If it closes outside that pattern, I got a strong feeling we're going to continue going down. If it breaks back into the pattern or holds above that 27.9, 28 level, I think we continue ranging. But yeah, like I said, that's all I got for you guys today. If you do enjoy the content I provide here every morning for you on Boring Crypto IO, please by all means subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for notifications, watch, like, and share the videos if you like them, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow? I wish I knew what happened to my mouth and why I can't talk when I do these videos. It's like I like my mouth, my lips are numb. They don't want to move. Anyways, I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. I am out of here.